Good evening and welcome back to News 11. I'm Julia Skiba.
And I'm Kellyanne Hender.
Now Kellyanne, this is your first time anchoring on the desk. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm a little nervous, but I've been wanting to be on this side of the desk for a while, so I'm excited to finally be here.
Yay, well, we're very excited to have you on and we have a lot of stories to cover, so let's get started. Are you looking to rock out for a good cause on Saturday? On Saturday, Fredonia Radio Systems will be holding their annual Rockin' in the Commons event. Rockin' in the Commons is a fundraiser event for Roswell Park. All proceeds made at the event directly benefit Roswell Park's cancer research. The event features live music from several Fredonia and Buffalo bands, a huge basket raffle, games, and more. Plus, WNYF will be broadcasting the event live right here on our YouTube page, so be sure to check it out. Rockin' in the Commons is this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Also this Saturday, the Alzheimer's Association is hosting their Walk to End Alzheimer's event. The walk will be held at Point Gratiot Park. Lynn Westcott, Senior Director of Development at the Western New York chapter, says, quote, "We're closer than ever to stopping Alzheimer's. We hope that everyone in the community can join us to help the Alzheimer's Association raise awareness and funds for families facing the disease today and take more steps toward treatments that will finally end this disease," end quote. Registration begins at 10 a.m. and the opening ceremony will begin at 11 a.m.
Chautauqua County's unemployment rates were on the rise last month. On Tuesday, the New York State Department of Labor released the current stats. Currently, unemployment stats sits at 3.8% higher than July's rate at 3.5%. Chautauqua County does, however, have lower unemployment rates than the rest of the state. New York State has a 4.1% unemployment rate. The unemployment rates this year are lower than last year.
In Lewiston this week, the New York Power Authority will be holding its annual Wildlife Festival. This event will be held at the Niagara Power Vista this weekend from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Admission and parking will be free for all attendees. The event will have exotic creatures, animal shows, food vendors, rock climbing, and more.
This Sunday, West Mohawk will be holding its 7th annual Meatball Street Brawl. It will take place between Delaware and Franklin from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tickets are currently on sale online until September 24th and cost $25. The tickets include all you can eat and drink for the day. There's also a VIP ticket for purchase for $135. The event will also have the Buffalo Bills game playing on a large screen, and all proceeds made go to local charities, some including Unit and Response to the Love Center, and there will also be a wide variety of local restaurants, breweries, and more. So make sure you get your ticket and check it out. For more information, visit meatballstreetbrawl.com.
Former teacher Haley Glynn is currently on her way to creating her 3rd children's book while helping to inspire others to write their own stories. Glynn's passion for story writing came during the pandemic when she told her mother she was having a hard time teaching children about the pandemic and keeping them engaged. Her mother then gave her the idea to write a children's book to explain it to them. Her first book, When Verona the Corona Came to Town, is her first story of many that helped inspire her to write stories in the first place, and is now a bestseller on Amazon. She's currently working on her 3rd book and hoping to release it in early 2024. This is the first year Glynn is not welcoming students back to her classroom, and she plans on working on her children's books more full-time. Currently, she is posting tips and advice on her social media and has started her own business one-on-one consulting people on how to write children's books. She says she wants to focus on collaboration and helping other teachers write children's books. She said, quote, "Teachers have the best children's books ideas because they're around kids every day. They know what's missing in the classroom. They know how to engage young minds," end quote. Glynn is very excited to grow this newfound passion of hers and can't wait to inspire others and see what's next for her and her new career.
On October 13th, the Transit Drive-In will begin hosting Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour concert film. Showing will take place rain or shine, and fans are encouraged to arrive early. Gates open at 5 p.m. and showings begin at 7:30 p.m. The drive-in has also noted that purchasing a pre-sale ticket does not guarantee a perfect view and that saving parking spaces will not be permitted. The cost to attend showings is a nod to Taylor herself at $19.98 for adults and $13.13 for children. Tickets can be purchased on the Transit Drive-in website.
The Buffalo Zoo is looking for help in naming 2 of their newest lion cubs. People can vote on the names Tina or Asali for the girl cub, which means sweet like honey, and the vote for the male cub is between Briggs or Bahir, which means dazzling and bright. Voting opens on Tuesday in front of the lion's habitat. The Buffalo Zoo will also be welcoming a year and a half-year-old red panda, Maguai, to the Red Panda exhibit. Maguai is coming from the Pueblo Zoo in Pueblo, Colorado. He can be visited in his exhibit where zoo-goers can find him napping in trees and above the glass windows. According to the zoo, their other male red panda scout is being moved to Pueblo, Colorado. The zoo hopes to bring in a female mate from Moiguami within the next year.
A popular sports facility in Western New York is getting ready to reopen after being heavily damaged by harsh weather. The Whirly Drive Golf Dome in Williamsville, which has been a staple in the community for years, was rendered unusable due to the blizzard in December of 2022. Owner Caleb Huck says workers inflated the brand new dome last week, also touting its ability to withstand harsh weather like what we saw last winter. Huck hopes that after some finishing touches, the facility will be ready to welcome guests back in October, just in time for the indoor season. And when we come back, your national stories, including an update on Hurricane Ian. We'll be right back.
To Sofia and Gabriel, Miss Flores, my little flowers. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love, so you can take me with you wherever you go, near or far. These stitches and threads join us together. Me, your mother, and both of you. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you as you bring our colorful stories to the world.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Ray Epps was a participant in the January 6th Capitol riots. However, his name was removed from the FBI Capitol violence webpage, which sparked conspiracy theories that he was a federal informant. However, Epps was charged in connection with the Capitol attack on Tuesday. Epps was charged with 1 misdemeanor count of disorderly or disruptive conduct on restricted grounds. Most of the thousands who unlawfully gathered on the restriction grounds of the U.S. Capitol have not been charged unless they engaged in some sort of aggravating conduct, like attacking the police or destroying property. In Epps' case, he was shown to have attempted to de-escalate tensions between the police and rioters, though he's also shown with his hands on a giant Trump sign. The rioters jammed into the police line. A federal judge acquitted another January 6th participant who had his hand on that same sign, saying that his intent was unclear. Epps was not charged with entering the Capitol as a result of the conspiracy theories. Epps filed a lawsuit against Fox News and former host Tucker Carlson.
Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani is being sued by his lawyers for $1.4 million. The law firm Davidoff Butcher and Citron LLP defended Giuliani for civil, criminal, and congressional cases. He's being sued for the failure to pay his balance of over $1.36 million and has been asked to pay. He has recently been charged for conspiring with Donald Trump in regards to the 2020 presidential election. He will be having local counsel represent him in light of this lawsuit was announced Monday.
Hunter Biden plans to plead not guilty to federal gun charges, according to a court filing Tuesday. President Joe Biden's son is asking for his initial court appearance to be held remotely. Hunter Biden was indicated last week by special counsel David Weiss in connection with a gun he purchased in 2018. Biden is accused of lying on a federal form saying he was not using or addicted to illegal drugs, even though he was struggling with a cocaine addiction at the time of the purchase. It's the first time in U.S. history the Justice Department has charged the child of a sitting president.
The Fulton County Sheriff's Office in Georgia is proposing moving inmates out of the overcrowded Fulton County Jail to other facilities hundreds of miles away. Officials say the jail's current population stands at a little over 3,400. The county's Board of Commissioners heard details of the plan during a meeting Wednesday. Transfer options include the D. Ray James Correctional Institution in Folkston, Georgia, and the Tallahatchie County Correctional Facility in Tooele, Mississippi. Folkston is just north of Jacksonville, Florida. Officials say the Fulton County Sheriff was unable to find open beds in facilities closer to Atlanta County. County commissioners were not scheduled to vote on the sheriff's proposal Wednesday. This summer, the Justice Department launched a civil rights investigation into the jail following multiple deaths at the facility.
The next idea that was once only possible in science fiction is becoming reality. On Monday, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine, along with other regional and local officials, announced a new effort to produce electrical air taxis in the state. Joby Aviation was chosen to construct a facility for the technology's development at the Dayton International Airport. The air taxis are planned to be used for commercial purposes, with capacity for 1 pilot and 4 passengers, a range of over 100 miles. The city of Dayton is the birthplace of Orville Wright, one of the pioneers in aviation. Officials hope the project will bring as many as 2,000 new jobs to the area. Manufacturing is expected to begin in 2025.
This past Monday night, some of the U.S. was lucky enough to see some of the dazzling views of the Northern Lights, also known as the Aurora Borealis. The Northern Lights are typically more visible in the night sky at higher altitudes, but during dense, intense periods of solar activity, they can be seen further south. The lights this past week were seen due to a coronal mass ejection that occurred Saturday on the sun, which then created clouds of energetic particles which collided with Earth's magnetic fields and interacted with the atoms and molecules in the planet's atmosphere lower than normal. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Space Weather Prediction Center said early Tuesday that they were tracking a strong geomagnetic storm and sightings could be seen across a few states from Oregon to Pennsylvania, if weather was permitting. The National Weather Service in Aberdeen, South Dakota, and Glasgow, Montana shared pictures of the beautiful views they received Monday night, along with several other Midwestern states such as Wisconsin and Minnesota. For more information about the Northern Lights and when you may be able to see them again, you can check out NOAA's Space Weather Prediction Center. And when we come back, Brent Casillo joins us for our sports update, and another new weather anchor is joining News 11. We'll be right back.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
When you think of the local lowdown, what do you think of?
Well, when I think of the local lowdown, it's the live music that we have played in the studio.
It's gotta be the laughs we shared. The memorable moments during the whole thing. Oh my God, so fun.
The local lowdown for me is the people behind the scenes, the amazing team that we have making the show.
Oh, it's gotta be exploring all sorts of genres and music I've never heard before.
Oh, easy. Going out to shows and talking to artists and getting the latest news on what they have planned for the future.
It's about these artists, man. Giving them a platform to showcase what they've worked so hard on and show their music to the community. It's all about supporting the local scene of music to keep it running for years to come. And of course, the band merch. You can't forget about the merch.
We're now joined by Brent Casillo for his first time on news, who will be giving us our weekly sports update. What's going on in sports, Brent?
Well, there's been a lot going on in sports, especially with Fredonia. This past weekend, the men's soccer team played 2 games. Friday, they hosted Pitt Bradford, which resulted in a big 5-2 win. Starting forward, Caleb Stewart led the way, getting a goal and 2 assists for a huge 3-point night out of the 5 goals that the team tallied. The Blue Devils defense also played an enormous role in this game as they held Bradford to only 8 shots while the Blue Devils had 34. We actually had an opportunity to interview Huddy Kwitowski after the game, and here were his thoughts.
All around, we played pretty good. I mean, we did not want to give up 2 goals to them, but I think finishing-wise, we did pretty well. And attacking-wise, obviously, also, we did pretty well. But, yeah, we knew that they were beatable, so I'm happy that we won. I think defensive-wise, we need to tighten up some things, but attacking-wise, we looked pretty decent.
And for their second game on Saturday, the team traveled to Hamburg, New York to take on the Hilbert Hawks. The guys fought a long, hard battle, which resulted in a 2-1 win, going 2-0 on the weekend. The defense really showed off their skills as they held Hilbert to only 4 shots, while the Blue Devils had 23. Starting midfielder Cameron Walsh had both of the Blue Devils' goals, which came unassisted. Their next game is this Saturday, September 23rd at 1:00 p.m. as they host the Cortland Red Dragons. The women's volleyball team had 3 games over this past weekend as they traveled to Allegheny on Friday, which resulted in a 3-0 loss. The girls were looking for redemption coming into Saturday's games against Haram and Wilmington College. Their first matchup against Haram also resulted in a 3-0 loss. And then they traveled down the road seeking to end the weekend off on a win against Wilmington College. Unfortunately, the girls did not win in this match as they lost to Wilmington 3-0. They look to get back into the winning column this weekend as they play back-to-back games Saturday hosting Houghton and Alfred State. The women's tennis team played a match this past Saturday as they traveled to Grove City College in Pennsylvania. It was a tough match as it resulted in a loss for the Blue Devils as Grove City College won 9-0. They seek to get back into the winning column as they play Brockport on September 30th at 1:00 p.m. This past Sunday, the Buffalo Bills were searching to get their first win of the season as they held their home opener against the Las Vegas Raiders, who were 1-0 coming into the game. After a tough loss to the New York Jets the prior week, the Bills were eager to get a win in Week 2. It was a very well-rounded team win as quarterback Josh Allen played a way better game against the Raiders as he threw for 274 yards, earning 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and went 32 for 37 on completions. Running back James Cook had his first ever 100-plus rushing yards game as he ran for 123 yards. A couple of the receivers got their first touchdowns of the year as well, which were Gabe Davis, Khalil Shakir, and tight end Dawson Knox. The offense ended up scoring 38 points as the Bills' defense played extremely well and held the Raiders to only 10 points, resulting in a 38-10 win. The team will look to keep their win streak going as they travel to Washington to take on the Commanders on Sunday afternoon at 1:00 p.m.
Thank you so much, Brent. So how about them Bills, baby?
Hopefully they can get it done this Sunday, go 2-1 on the season, and then keep the win streak going. And then after that, we got the Dolphins, which will be a tough game. So hopefully they can just keep it rolling.
Yeah, it was a pretty disappointing start. Week 1, I didn't even watch the end of the game, but Week 2 was really uplifting, and it was nice to see.
Yeah, it was.
All right, and now we're joined by Lily, one of our newest weather anchors. What do you have for us for the first forecast, Lily?
For tonight, our temperatures will be in the high 50s with cloudy skies and a slight breeze. Friday looks like it will be a perfect day for any outdoor plans, with temperatures in the low to mid 70s for the whole day, light winds and partly cloudy skies. The temperature will drop to the low 50s into the night, still keeping up with those clouds and slight winds from earlier in the day.
Thank you so much, Lily. When we come back, we have your international headlines. We'll be right back.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the Sisterhood of Women in Tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting
and even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other
on a deeper level.
Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard. You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
President Joe Biden issued a defense of American leadership abroad this past Tuesday. He reiterated U.S. support for Ukraine during a high-profile speech at the United Nations. Biden talked extensively about U.S. support for revamping how the World Bank and other multilateral development banks work with low and middle-income countries. This push is a direct response to China's long-term investment in developing nations around the world. Biden's speech also touched on climate change, artificial intelligence, expansion to the United Nations Security Council, investing in the Global South, and more.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has launched an official investigation into the assassination of a Canadian Sikh activist. The Canadian government has cause to believe that an Indian diplomat had involvement in the death and have expelled the high-ranking individual. The allegations were called, quote, absurd and motivated, end quote, by India's foreign ministry. On Tuesday, the Khalistan movement is banned in India as it is seen as a security threat. However, this movement is strong in other populations of Sikhs across the world, including Canada. The Prime Minister of India has expressed concern about this movement in Canada prior to this incident for this reason. Canada's national security was aware of a possible threat to the safety of their citizens. However, Trudeau has called this homicide of a Canadian citizen on Canadian soil, possibly by the hand of a foreign power, quote, an unacceptable violation of their sovereignty, end quote. Trudeau has been in contact with his allies, including United States President Joe Biden, who has expressed his support for the Canadian government and their investigation. The Canadian government has asked that the Indian government cooperate in this investigation.
The World Weather Attribution, also known as WWA, recently came out with a statement concluding that the main factor of the catastrophic flooding in Libya is due to climate change. WWA stated that, quote, climate change made the heavy rain up to 10 times more likely to happen, with up to 40% more rain, as a result of human activities that have warmed the planet, end quote. The statement also said that it does not entirely blame climate change, as it was also due to human error with poor dam maintenance, land use, armed conflict, and political instability, all factors as well, and that heavy amount of rainfall was unusual for the area too. Several people have come out with statements regarding the devastation and effects of the flood, along with other events caused by climate change. Alex Hall, director of UCLA's Center for Climate Change, said, quote, events like the one in Libya are much more likely to occur because of greenhouse gas emissions of the past 150 years, and there is about 10% more water vapor in the atmosphere, end quote. He explained in the statement that this increase creates more fuel for storms and leads to much more intense precipitation. Although climate change is a great factor in these events and needs to be considered to help save our planet, the people also need to prepare and be ready for more intense events. Friederike Otto, senior lecturer in climate science at Grantham Institute said, quote, "There is absolutely no doubt that reducing vulnerability and increasing resilience to all types of extreme weather is paramount for saving lives in the future," end quote. Currently, Libya is still heavily feeling the effects of this flooding, but they are slowly trying to make their way back from this disastrous event. Now, when we come back, your trending stories. Plus, Lily joins us for your weekend weather. We'll be right back.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Grammy winner singer Ariana Grande is divorcing her husband Dalton Gomez. The filing in Los Angeles Monday comes after about 2 years of marriage. A source with knowledge of the matter says the filing cites inconsolable differences. Grande's family law attorney is Laura Wasser, according to a spokesperson for the Thank You Next singer. It's unclear who's representing Gomez. Grande is in London working on a film version of Wicked right now.
Singer Katy Perry has something to worry about. She has just sold her music catalog to Limitless Music for reportedly hundreds of millions of dollars. The Carlay Group made the announcement on Monday. The deal includes the songs and albums Perry released between 2008 and 2020. That includes One of the Boys, Teenage Dreams, Prisms, Witness, and Smile. Billboard, citing sources, says this deal is worth a reported $225 million. In a statement, Limitless co-founder and CEO says they are grateful to be working with someone whose integrity shines in everything she does. Now we're going to toss it to Lily for our weekend weather. Lily, how's it looking?
This weekend we're looking at another lovely sunny couple of days in Fredonia. Our Saturday high temperature is 72 degrees with lots of sunshine and slight winds. As we get into the evening, the temperatures will drop into the mid-60s with those same clear skies. Seems like a perfect day to spend outside at Barker Commons for the Rockin' the Commons event. Sunday, we're looking at a mostly sunny, breezy day with temperatures in the high 60s to low 70s with a few clouds in the skies. In the evening, temperatures will drop to the low 50s with cloudy skies. Monday will be a bit cooler with the high temperature being only 71 degrees. There will be lots of sun and clear skies for the entire day. The temperatures will drop to the low 50s in the nighttime, making for a nice and comfortable weekend forecast.
Thank you, Lily. Now, our weather looks really good this weekend, and that's really good news because if you caught the beginning of our broadcast, we are doing Rockin' in the Commons on Saturday in Barker Commons. Do you have plans to go?
Yeah, I am going. I'm going to be there the whole time, and I've never been to Rockin' the Commons, so there's going to be already like so much going on, so I really don't want to deal with the cold, so I'm glad that's not going to be an issue.
That's true. It's going to be really great weather. I'm very excited. I went last year, and it was such a fun event to go to. It's perfect for the fall time too. I got myself a little Starbucks coffee and then went down to watch all of our bands going on. So we are very excited for that and we hope to see many of you there. So that's it for News 11. Thank you so much to our behind the scenes crew and we'll be back next Thursday.
And of course, thank you to everyone watching at home. We'll see you next week.